And also, once it's set up, it doesn't emit any VOCs after it's been set.
What does VOC mean? VOCs are gases that are emitted into the air from products or processes. Some are harmful by themselves, including some that cause cancer. So it's cancer-proof! It cures cancer!
And it's super insulative. It's got like an R70 value on it.
What? In the event that your ceiling has an attic, the insulation must be greater. Good insulation is R60. The best insulation is R70 and above. Are you kidding me? But they're fireproof, they're waterproof, they have the best insulation properties, they are self-leveling, they don't emit any deadly gases, and if you exposed to a direct flame for 2 hours, it maintains 100% structural integrity. This is outrageous. I'm angry. Right. Okay. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Who do we go to? Right. How do we take over the government? Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Now you brought it up. We got a Rumble account. Go and check it out. We live stream there Monday to Friday, 11 till 3. We play Ren. We play Chinchilla. We play Sam. We play Knox Hill. We play Eminem. We play all sorts. And a lot of country and western as well, because that's amazing. Go check out our Rumble account. Link is in the description. John Searing says, my homeboy had 0 on his record and got 10 years for buying an ounce of weed for his dad that was dying of cancer. He missed his dad's funeral. I don't have words. Outrageous. Appalling. Infuriating. Bachelor says, same with hemp being used as materials like building bricks. Guys, I've got to show you this video. Oh, this is brilliant. This is fantastic. This guy here. I won't play the whole video, but we'll play the start of it. This guy has invented, well, I don't think he's invented it, but he's bringing to market hemp blocks. Now, you should see these things. They are phenomenal, right? Now, I don't know the exact data, but it's something like they're completely fire resistant. You can't burn them. You can't burn them at all, right? So there's no such thing as a house fire. They physically can't burn. And they're also water resistant, so they can't flood. And because of the nature of the hemp, when they're in a house, there is the heat from the day, the blocks absorb, so that, and then release it at night, and then the coolness of the blocks at night keeps the house cool during the day. So it's self-temperature regulating. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and they're really light as well. Check this out, guys. We'll just play the first 5 minutes or something, 2 minutes. You'll get the gist of it. Look at them, they're like Lego blocks.
What I love about building with these blocks is it's like Lego for adults. That's what everybody can relate to.
No cement.
Hempcrete is a great insulator. It's fire resistant.
Look at that.
It's easy to build with.
Look at that.
And it's good for the environment.
Look at that.
So our mix is comprised of hemp hurd, which is the inner core of the hemp plant, and we mix that with lime. The reason we developed this modular building block was to make it easier to work with hempcrete and easier to integrate hempcrete into current building standards. My brother's the one who invented the product, and Mac helped somebody do a hemp build that was in situ, meaning you tap it in place on site.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's crazy.
And it was taking an extraordinarily long amount of time, and they had to wait for it to dry as well. So he was thinking there's got to be a better way. We love hempcrete, but it has to be something that's easy for builders to use.
You don't need. There's no cement needed. They slot into place. It's amazing. I think he says there's like a glue you put down or something
to make it practical for a building product. So that's kind of why we developed the block, so we can be on par.
Look how light it is as well. Like, with no disrespect, this is a relatively old guy, right? And he's picking it up by the The bricks bit.
Make it practical for a building product. So that's kind of why we developed the block, so we can be on par.
I mean, how quick are you going to build a house?
Or slightly more expensive than conventional building materials, but way superior as far as the performance of the building once it's done.
Why isn't every house being built with this? It's fireproof. That alone. Imagine the security being in a house where you know can't burn down. It's remarkable.
With the load-bearing capacity of high-performance concrete. So you're getting all
the room could burn down, but the house won't.
All the benefits of a concrete wall.
It just looks like a normal house once you put the face on.
With half the weight, and the insulation values are 10 times more. It meets or exceeds the passive house standards for energy consumption. We developed the block.
So you would need less energy, right? Which means less money to the government. That's exactly why. Which is exactly why.
To be easy to handle, they're only about 25 pounds. They stack in.
What's that, 25 pounds? What's that, 12, 13 kilos each? No. Yeah.
Blocked together.
Wow.
And makes an integral structure that becomes monolithic once they're all put together. And it's fast to work with, so there's no waiting for anything to dry.
So you don't need cement.
Once you stack the wall up, it's ready to go.
Wow.
The black frames are the heavy-duty frames, which are designed for tall wall heights of 30 feet. And the green ones are the standard duty or light-duty frames, which are designed for residential, and they're good for freestanding walls of about 20 feet. Wow. So this is the internal structure that's load-bearing and provides a structural support. This is the hemp lime matrix that we...
Oh, I see. So the nodules bit, if we go back at here... So these is what's inside the brick. I see. So the hemp acts as the fireproofing and the temperature regulating, essentially. Oh, how clever is that?
And this is a scratch coat we use so we can apply the lime plaster and the lime stucco directly on.
Oh, fantastic. So you just put your face on.
The exterior and the interior. But as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's hemp and lime wrapped around a structural frame. And as you can see here, we have...
Genius. Just genius.
Do it holes for electrical. Every 5.3 inches, you can run electrical conduit through here while you're putting the blocks together. There's no sand in any of our materials, so you can cut these with a bandsaw or a reciprocating saw.
Oh my God.
Now, we actually don't like the word crete because we don't use any concrete in our mix. So the reason we use lime as part of our mix is because
it's tough.
It is more environmentally friendly. It reabsorbs the CO2 that was released when it was being manufactured. So
what? It reabsorbs the CO2.
So between the hemp absorbing the CO2 as it grows and then sequestering the CO2 in the material, as well as the lime reabsorbing the CO2, it actually becomes a carbon negative material. So it actually absorbs more carbon or CO2 than is released in its life. Other benefits of hemp is it being wrapped.
Right. If I was in charge, if I was Prime Minister, I would now make it a legal requirement that every building from this point onwards has to use that brick. Mental! Everyone's losing their shit over climate change. This will help massively. Imagine every building ends up absorbing more carbon than it's used. Fucking madness. It's already a conspiracy, the whole climate change bullshit anyway. The Earth has its own fucking cycles and they happen at predictable intervals every 6,500 years. It's madness. Every 6,500 to 12,000 years we have an ice age. It's fucking so repetitive. It's part of the Earth cycle. And the question is, are humans accelerating? But it doesn't fucking matter if it's accelerating. We're still going to go into fucking an apocalypse when the ice age gets here. Can't escape it. The Earth is just going to do it. It's madness that everyone's losing their shit over climate change. It's just part of the fucking process. It's in the data. The question is, are humans accelerating? But the acceleration part is irrelevant. Like, who cares whether we get to the next ice age 100 years quicker or not? It's still going to be there. It's like one generation we're trying to save. It's mental.
Renewable. What that means is that it grows quickly. So, for example, it'll take a tree 20 years to get to maturity so you can harvest it, whereas with a hemp crop, it's like 90 days, 110 days.
This is crazy. Why are we not using this?
This is what the hemp plant looks like once it's dried out. So you can see how thick the stalk is. That's the part that contains the fiber on the outside and the hemp hurd on the inside. And you can see how tall it grows. And this actually isn't the tallest variety out there. So this is what a dried hemp stalk looks like. We
It's
put the
madness.
structural frame on the
I remember watching the first 5 minutes. I didn't watch this far. We're going to watch all of it.
inside of the block. It has high compression ratio, so it can withstand as much pressure as concrete. And same for shear strength for wind and hurricanes and earthquakes. Because of the way it all goes together, it transfers the load amongst the whole
It's earthquake proof, for fuck's sake! What is happening?
wall assembly, not just a point where it meets the ground. So there's a whole bunch of benefits that we've designed into the block to make it stronger.
Which basically means it's volcano proof as well, right? Kinda. Outside of the initial explosion and devastation, right? The hot ash is not going to burn the house down, right? So it's earthquake proof. It's a tiny bit more expensive than current stuff, but it's the answer to fucking carbon emissions. It's self-regulating heat-wise. It's waterproof. It's fucking fireproof. I've already said that. It plugs together like Lego. I mean, it's going to be fun to build with. This is outrageous.
And a better way to build. So it looks pretty simple, just like Lego, but really there's a whole lot more going on in the material choices and in the way it's built that makes it a really, really excellent building material for not just for residential, but for commercial building.
I'm sold.
As well, and institutional.
I'm sold.
We first of all started off with
Where do I buy it?
wood supports because we thought that would be environmentally friendly. The problem we have is that wood is not consistent when it comes to compressive strength and flexural. And so if there's a knot in your piece of wood, it'll vary the numbers greatly for compression strength.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So it was very difficult to be able to use wooden supports. So what we ended up doing is creating a moldable piece that we could reproduce reliably. We came up with our own formulation of a biocomposite material where we can use vegetable oil-based polyester resins or polyols, and it's more like an epoxy than it is a plastic. It's like a thermal set, which means it doesn't deform with heat.
And that's fireproof as well. Are you kidding me?
The biggest problem with plastics is if they get hot, they'll kind of go wobbly on you, as will steel if it gets hot enough. This does not deform. And also, once it's set up, it doesn't emit any VOCs after it's been set.
What does VOC mean? What's a VOC? What is VOC? Volatile organic compounds. Compounds that have a high vapor pressure at room temperature. High vapor pressure correlates with a low boiling point, which relates to the number of sample molecules in the surrounding air, a trait known as volatility. VOCs are gases that are emitted into the air from products or processes. Some are harmful by themselves, including some that cause cancer. In addition, some can react with other gases and form air pollutants after they're in the air. So it's cancer proof. It cures cancer. Well, don't go that far. What?
It'll go wobbly on you, as will steel if it gets hot enough. This does not deform. And also, once it's set up, it doesn't emit any VOCs after it's been set.
So once it's set, then there's no harmful gases at all. Oh my Christ.
So this is kind of a demonstration wall that we put together. So it shows the interior of the hemp blocks, what they look like, and these are the interior frames. By the way, we just cut these on a bandsaw. They're cut in half to make a flush end. And
wow.
That's how we do it. We put mortar in between to seal them for air gap. When you cut the very top course of blocks off.
So they put a small layer of mortar, it looks like, okay.
Then we'll put the top of wall strip on that. This is simply
I love the fact that they got the electrical holes in them as well, right? That's a great USP.
Stucco finish on the exterior, and we have a plaster finish on the interior. This is lime plaster and lime stucco. This wall is about...
it's water repellent, guys. It doesn't absorb water at all. Water repellent.
12 inches thick with the stucco.
So as with regards to, let's say you're in a flood, you've been flooded, once the water's gone, your house is fine. Think about that for a second. Just think about it for a second. So if you were in a forest fire area, you know, all the forest fires are going around, your house won't burn down, right? If you're in a hurricane or you get flooded, once the water's gone, you don't have to destroy the whole house and start again, right? It's earthquake proof. The house just kind of wobbles with the earthquake. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, think of the insurance claims for a start, which is, of course, why they don't do it, because people are making them in. What else? It absorbs carbon out of the atmosphere. I mean, I need to become a salesman for these guys. I can get behind this product.
And the plaster, because the blocks are about 10 3/4 inches wide. So total width is about 12. So this is a complete wall system, meaning that once you stack the blocks up and you put the mortar in between as you stack them, and you're done. Like you put the top of the wall on it, you can now put your second floor on.
And it cures cancer.
Or your roof truss is right on top of it. And as you stack them up, they're actually fitting on the sockets inside the supports. It's not resting on the actual hemp material.
Wow.
So that way you get a very even wall going all the way up to the top. There's an art to doing masonry, and you don't have to have that skill to do this with our blocks. They're self-leveling in effect compared to masonry.
They're self-leveling.
Courses. Well, you cannot use hemp line below grade because it will decompose. So what we did is we developed a product that can be made out of either recycled plastics or out of soybean oil to create foam. And so what we did is we've got a waterproof block, just like our hemp blocks, that you can use below grade now. And it's super light, same thing, goes up real fast. You finish it like it was insulated concrete form, except there's no concrete. So you just stack the blocks up, put your skin on the outside, you're good to go. And it's super insulative. It's got like an R70 value on it.
What? What? In the event that your ceiling has an attic, the insulation must be greater. Good insulation is R60. The best insulation is R70 and above. Are you kidding me?
So one of the questions we get all the time is about hemp. Why did we pick hemp? Well, when we first started this little venture, we didn't even mention it was hemp, because everybody would make jokes like, well, do you get high if your house catches on fire? Can I smoke it? So people didn't understand it.
Yeah, those people we call fucking idiots. There's no THC in hemp. It's just CBD.
Difference between hemp and cannabis and marijuana. So we didn't even mention it. So we said, hey, it's a biofiber material, hence the name, just biofiber. But now that
such a shame, isn't it? There's a stigma to it, so they didn't use it.
hemp is becoming more popular. People are beginning to understand all the benefits and thousands of uses of hemp for food, but also for oils, for pharmaceutical purposes. The fiber has been used for thousands of years to make textiles. The reason we use hemp is because it's a great material. It's got a bunch of benefits. It's an insulator, and it also has thermal capacity to regulate the temperature. It's fire resistant. We've tested ours to over 2 hours fire rating with 100% structural integrity. And the other thing is...
Wow! 100% structural integrity after 2 hours of a direct flame!
It regulates the interior humidity, so it gives you a very comfortable environment.
My mind is blown.
Noise transmission between the wall and the inside and outside. And also the beauty about hemp is it sequesters like 1.6 times its weight in CO2 while the plant's been growing. So it's a great carbon sink, sequestering about 10 tons of carbon for every house.
What?
That's a big deal.
How much is 10 tons of carbon? How long would it take a car to emit 10 tons of carbon? Calculate for your car. Here we go. Okay, distance travelled. Let's go 1,000 kilometres. Fuel type petrol. Fuel consumption. How many litres in that 100 kilometres? Oh, I don't fucking know. I'll put 100 in. Calculate. Must be less than 100. 50. So if you travelled 1,000 kilometres in a petrol car, 50 litres of fuel, that's 2 tons. Okay, so let's go back and change that to 10,000. 10,000 is 20 tons. So it would be 50,000. My maths is correct. 100 tons. 50,000 kilometers in a car. How many miles is that? 50,000 kilometers in miles. Oh my God. 310,000 miles. Your car would dump out 100 tons of carbon. That's how much this does per house. That's how much it absorbs. Are you having a fucking giraffe? Who's in charge of this shit show?
Please.
Right. I'm going for Prime Minister. This is mental. Every building and every house and every structure should be made from this stuff. It should be made from this stuff. I don't know what the cons are, and I don't really care. There's too many positives. Apparently, it's slightly more expensive. Like, let's find out how much these blocks are. How much are hemp blocks? Hemp block. Here we go. Let me put it on the screen so you guys can see. There you go. Okay, 500. These look like the ones that we just saw, didn't they? Roughly. Okay, so they're £4.23 each. Okay, so let me copy those dimensions. Concrete. Oh, they're not concrete blocks, are they? Yeah, they are concrete blocks. That's what people use these days. How much are they each? Concrete blocks. Oh, God. Let's go lightweight. I see they're about £1 each. It's not the same dimensions, though, is it? What were these? What were the dimensions that I said? 500 by 200. 400 by 200. So similar to that. So they're twice as expensive. But they're fireproof. They're waterproof. They have the best insulation properties. They are self-leveling. They don't emit any deadly gases. And if you exposed to a direct flame for 2 hours, it maintains 100% structural integrity. This is outrageous. I'm angry. Right. Okay. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Who do we go to? Right. How do we take over the government? How can we just make this a quick, your time's up, get out, I'm going in charge. If you don't like it, you can vote me off after a year, but give me a year. I swear to Christ I could fix this place. If I cared. Right, I've had a bit of a rant. All right, let's read some of these comments. Oh, Jesus. What's the time for? We'll carry on for a bit, guys. It's the money game, Dan, says Ginge. Absolutely. Andrew uses hemp in his cooking. Oh, that's cool. Preach, Dan, says Danker. Thanks, dude. Dan, do you know Graham Hancock, Ginge? He's one of my heroes. I absolutely love him. Yeah, big fan, mate. Big fan. Did you like that one? I really like that one as well. Don't forget to go and check out our social medias. Don't forget to check out our live streams every day where these clips come from. And don't forget to give us a cheeky like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.